Today, we're discussing close-up lenses and close-up shots, what they are, and how to use them in your films. Now, before we get started, if you find this video helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share because it really helps the channel. What is considered a close-up lens? A close-up lens is any lens that starts from the 70mm range and upwards. So 70mm, 85mm, 100, 135, 200mm. All of these are considered close-up lenses. One thing that you should also know is that these lenses have different names in our industry, like close-up lenses, tight lenses, and even long lenses. Naturally, when we go up in the focal range, our image gets tighter and tighter and we see less and less of the environment around our character. This is the main characteristic difference that we have of close-up lenses that separates it from the other focal ranges like mediums and wides. It's also worth mentioning that we're talking about the general term of a close-up lens and not the actual filter term of it, because that magnifying filter that they use in macro photography that goes on top of the lens is also called a close-up lens. Now that we have a general understanding about close-up lenses, let's delve deeper into the details. Close-ups exaggerate the distance between our subject and their background, optically that is, as it makes the items behind our subjects look a bit closer than they actually are. But this part specifically is a controversial topic about compression that not all people agree about, so I'm just not going to go in depth about it. Another thing that close-up lenses tend to do is give a lot more of that bokeh or blurry backgrounds. That's of course if the lens is wide open. And this is due to the actual distance between the background and the camera sensor, where the subject that we're shooting is very close to that sensor while the background is actually very far away, so when we focus on that subject, the background just completely goes to blur. Whereas if we use a wide lens to do a similar shot, we wouldn't get that exaggerated feeling of distance between the background and the camera. The combination of the 2 points that we just discussed is what makes the image have a shallow depth. Now, why do we use close-up lenses in film and cinema? A close-up lens's main role visually is to give us a closer look at our subject or object. So in our story, when we want to focus on something or highlight it and make sure that the spectator doesn't see anything else in the frame, we use a close-up. This gives us immense power in telling our story, because we're literally directing our spectator and forcing them to focus on the subject that we want. And these subjects and objects are usually details and elements that the spectator just cannot pick up very easily within our frame, or we just simply want to make sure that they could see this, and so that they develop a certain importance in their brain for that subject. Another directorial reason that the close-up is chosen for is for the impact that it creates. Take a look at this shot, for example, from this famous film, where this close-up shot is just used for the shock element that it gives. Other than the importance of the close-up's compositional properties, shots taken with a close-up lens can be used to highlight a feeling and kind of intensify it, literally shifting us closer to our character and making sure that we're feeling the same stuff that they are feeling. And for a completely different reason, close-up shots are even used to throw off the audience and make them just unaware of the time and space that they're in, because the frustrating lack of information within that tight frame just doesn't allow you to know anything about what time of day it is or where we are or the rest of the scene or action around our subject. So it could be used as a mysterious shot that just throws off the audience completely, which exactly shows you how versatile close-up lenses and shots can be. An extreme use of close-up shots, for example, could be the fetishizing of objects or elements in our frame. For example, the infamous and slightly funny hobby of the director Quentin Tarantino, where he uses close-up shots to always fetishize women's feet. Another great example of this extreme use is the snow globe from Citizen Kane. Close-up lenses and close-up shots play a great part in your cinematographic language. A language that you could only hone through learning about composition, lighting, and camera movement. Use it well, and your films will have a great impact. Now, if you haven't watched these videos, make sure that you do, and until next time, Cine Stuff out.